shit. I'm gonna fall.
Don't fall.
Yay, here we are.
Back at it again.
Back! Just guys being dudes. How am I gonna find Jesse if I don't know what he looks like? Do you see him? Where is he? Jesse! I'm meeting Rachel today, and I've known her since 2006, and it's 2015 now, so we've known each other for almost 9 years.
We're 5 minutes from Rachel. How are you feeling?
Nervous and excited as hell. Ah! Ah! Oh my god, fuck! Oh my god, fuck! You're real, you're not an old man. Oh my god, it's... Oh, you're so cute!
A lot of people are really chill about it. More chill than they were when I was younger. But I think when I was younger, a lot of the problem too was that my significant others and friends were mystery people on the internet. So my mom was constantly like, you don't really know how old these people are. They could be 25, which is me now.
It was seriously like a year goes by, and like I eventually just stop and I'm like, wait, so like, how old are you?
I was like, oh, I'm 18, and he was like, really? Wow, you're so much older than what I thought you were, and I was like, oh, great. Because he just like, he didn't have very many online friends, and the ones he did were all like 15 or 14 around his age, so he was like really confused when I was like, yeah, I'm 18, and in college, and living on my own, and paying bills, and he was like, oh, wow, you're an adult, and I was like, yeah, that's me.
I'm 30, almost 38, and about, yes.
I'm 27
I could not
for the
tell
record.
my mother when I was about 36, 37 that I was going to New York to meet an internet friend to go to a concert for a day. I could not tell her that because I knew that she would have the same reaction as your folks with the, well, who is this person really? You're going to be staying at their house?
The reason why we clicked initially is because she lives in Sarasota, so like not that far from here, and I'm like, yo, Florida.
Oh, it's an online dating situation. Well, can't be much worse than the real life dating scenario.
So it wasn't until I said, hey, I'm gonna be living with Jamie when I came down to Florida, they're like, wait, what? This person exists. It's like, dude, he came up to visit, like, and I went to, okay,
I
whatever.
have to remind people too that you can meet people online other than just like Match.com and OkCupid and whatnot. It's like, no, we kind of had an organic relationship where we saw each other's Tumblr pages and kind of Tumblr stalked each other, and you know had natural conversation evolved versus through chats and stuff, and decided, oh, let's try a date at Dragon Con. It just evolved naturally, and I think that
And then
surprises a lot of people.
after our day with Dragon Con, you're like, hey, you want to keep up online? And we did, and
We Skyped and did all that stuff,
I feel like every time I'm talking about my friends with my mom, they're always online friends, and she's also the same way, just kind of like, okay, you're online friends, got it. And I'm like, they are real friends.
I get offended when people suggest that I'm being catfished, though. Or like Charlie's parents and friends wanted to know if I was catfishing them. It's like, I mean, I understand the concern. I wouldn't want Charlie to get hurt. I wouldn't want any of my friends to get hurt. But it's still kind of insulting. Like, chill out. I'm a real person. I'm not gonna lie to you about who I am on the internet. I'm there to be honest and make art.
I'm online and I'm not catfishing anyone, and there are thousands, or like hundreds of thousands of other people online who are also just online. Like, they're just normal people online.
Is often used to dismiss the idea of online relationships as a real or valid, kind of relationship. and as a validation towards treating such relationships with suspicion and, something being avoided entirely, my mom has referenced as such.
She was my best friend. Like, her parents wouldn't let me, like, go to the funeral, and, like, wouldn't let me, like, meet her before, and, like that was her dying wish, was, like, to meet me, and her parents wouldn't allow it because I was from online. And so with my dad, when he found out about all this, because I was super torn up about it, and I didn't tell him until, like, 2 months after she passed away, when I met Hoshi, and I was like, I have this friend online that I really care about, and I would love to meet her. He was like, I'm putting enough trust in you that you know this person and that you are going to be okay. He was like, I know that you would never put yourself in this sort of danger.
The first time I ever had a real life go meet the friend situation, it was my friend Cami from that RPG group I had mentioned earlier. And she was going to school in the middle of Illinois, and I was living in Michigan at the time. After that, I went to go see a friend in Florida, and after that, a couple of the friends came up to see us.
Tumblr itself, by virtue of meeting people there, I have visited at least 5 or 6 states that I've never been to before. I went to New York. I went to a concert to see Gogo Bordello for the first time, in New York for the first time. That was when I decided to visit Anna. I obviously met you.
Yeah, should we talk about that?
Not get schmoopy about it.
Yeah, let's not get schmaltzy.
And then I'm going to Seattle in a couple weeks. All the meet people I've met on Tumblr who, a little second family. So that's where that's led to.
Duh. And it's really awkward for the first, like, day that you first meet someone from online in real life, because you have this, like, repertoire, I guess, with them, but that's online. It's a completely different medium to interact with them in person. But
nervous but excited, pretty much, I ultimately eased into it just as a different experience of communicating and being with this person. It's nerve-wracking. It's something you've never done before, and what if, they don't like me when they see me in person, and it's scary, but it's ultimately a really good thing, and, your relationship is strong enough for that.
And I have a certain persona, but then when you meet...
That talks in caps a lot.
I do shout in caps quite a lot, and in real life I mumble constantly. And you realize when you're offline, you can't maintain that persona. You're going to be in other environments that are not as controlled, so it is a different feeling. But if that friendship's, continues to be strong past that, I think, that's a really strong place to be. Yeah, most of my online friends are currently fandom friends as well.
Well, they start as fandom friends, and then they turn into art friends, and then they turn into real life friends.
Yes.
And then they turn into, oh, you're over at my house on the weekends cutting things out for you, friends.
what up?
Hey.
Hi, my name's C. I'm a genderqueer artist near Atlanta, Georgia, and I have had primarily online relationships since I was 12. I don't know if my best friend counts because I met them through an online friend, but they lived near me. But right now, because they're going to school far away, it's primarily an online friendship. Kelly, my friend since 2004, I have not met yet because she's in freaking Toronto and I'm in Georgia. I've met Charlie, who lives in Boston, and I met up with Meg multiple times, who lives in California.
Catfishing is always an interesting thing for me as a trans guy, because back in TF2chan, I actually wasn't out. And that was one of my first places where I could actually present online as a guy. And a lot of TF2chan automatically kind of glomped onto me because they saw my medic cosplay. And so that was a place where it's like, oh my god, I'm passing, hell yeah. And so I got on there, and in hindsight, a lot of us didn't know that there were a lot of trans guys on TF2chan, and we all found each other like 7 years later. We're like, by the way, I was trans. Oh, I'm trans too. Hey! So it's like, kind of reminds me of like Monstrous Regiment or something, where none of us knew that there were so many trans guys in this space. And then it did go over and it turned into Tumblr. And that was another outing of a different type for myself, where I decided to be a non-stealth trans guy on Tumblr. And that's one of my little claim to fames right now. When I blogged that photo of myself for Trans Day of Visibility, I think I spent about 6 hours answering questions.
Yeah.
Because I decided I just dashed off. My inbox is open.
And I was probably answering questions for like an hour and a half of just bi-gender people you sent over.
Yeah, I did send over people to you. But that was a good experience.
As a person who grew up with the internet as my like primary source of support groups, being a young gender queer, just plain queer person, it was hard to find that support, and just it's hard to look for that support when you're a young person, or it was when I was a teen.
My very best friend I met online, and it just so happened that they were really quite close locationally to me, and we had been talking for a long time before that, but and had known each other and all that before that, but we met in person at a convention, and we hung out a ton after that, both in person and online, even though we were really close locationally, like I said. It's so weird because it's like we would have lived 20 minutes away from each other, but it might have been enough, we might never have crossed paths.
It requires you to be a lot more emotionally available and emotionally honest. I mean, I'm on the autism spectrum, and I find verbalizing really difficult a lot of the time anyway. So making friends online is just really a nice thing. I can't imagine how lonely my life would be if I didn't have online friends.
My best friend's my biggest support in the world, and my best relationship in the world, and I can't imagine not having them. They can be just as real and valuable as in-person relationships. Online relationships are IRL too. They are real life. They're in real life. That means they can be good and bad, shallow and deep, everything that a real relationship, an in-person relationship can be.
Everyone is here.